presented by the League of Women Voters of Winnebago County and Oshkosh Media. I'm Margie Davey, president of the League and tonight's moderator. Joining me on the panel is Karen Schneider, publisher of the Oshkosh Herald, Neenah News, and Winneconne Times.
Winneconne News.
What'd I say? Oh, Winneconne News. She knows. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
The forum is co-sponsored by Oshkosh Media. The forum will air live on Oshkosh Media Government TV, which can be found on Spectrum Cable Channel 10. I had to do this a couple hours ago, and it was perfect, so go back and watch that one. Which could be found on Spectrum Cable Channel 10 in the city of Oshkosh and Channel 99 on AT&T UVerse. It will also stream live on the Oshkosh Media YouTube channel and the free Oshkosh Media apps on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. The forum will be available on demand on the Oshkosh Media YouTube channel and will re-air several times on government TV between now and Election Day. Please check the Oshkosh Media website for replay times. The League of Women Voters seeks to inform citizens about major public policy issues and about candidates seeking office. We never support nor oppose any political party or candidate. The League publishes a monthly newsletter and has an active Facebook page. For more information about the League of Women Voters, access our website at lwwinnebago.org. Please be aware that there are several polling places that have changed in Oshkosh. Be sure to access myvotewi.gov to check and double-check where you vote. The city clerk is sharing this information in many ways too, but checking My Vote also allows you to confirm your personal registration. Even if you've voted in every election since Lincoln, it's always better to check beforehand than to be surprised on Election Day. In addition to this forum and the wonderful local coverage this year's elections are receiving, another way to get to know your candidates and thereby make an informed choice is to visit vote411.org. All candidates received an invitation to submit to Vote 411. Most accepted. I view the forums and questionnaires as a job interview. Would you hire someone who sent in an application but didn't show up for their interview? With that, let's get started. Thank you all for showing up for our forum. Public questions were solicited in advance. Those of you in the audience may also submit questions on the cards provided. Just wave them in the air and a league member will take them. We have our own personal Vanna, only we call her Hannah. Questions must be for all candidates and may not single out a candidate. Questions may be edited for brevity and clarity, and while we hope to cover as many as we can, we may not have time enough for all. 5 candidates are competing for 2 seats on the Oshkosh Area School Board. They are incumbent Barb Herzog and challengers Mallory Schneider-Birschbach, Paul Molitor, Jeffrey Watts, and Jacob Wolf. Incumbent Kelly DeWitt chose not to seek re-election. Candidates, please keep your answers concise so we may cover as many issues as possible. Our timekeeper will give you cues. Please heed the stop sign so I don't have to cut you off. Concise answers will also allow time for more questions. This is not a debate. You will each be given the same amount of time for each question. So we'll begin with opening statements. You now will each have 2 minutes to summarize your background, qualifications, and your motivation for seeking a seat on the Oshkosh Area School Board. Why should voters choose you over your opponents? Going alphabetically, we'll start with you, Barb. Ooh, Herzog. That's right.
I was thinking you were starting with Mallory.
Yeah, because we somehow managed to, but we're going with you, Barb.
My name is Barb Herzog, and I want to thank the League for the opportunity to be here tonight and share with you and the listening public out there about my views on various things. Basically, I'm a community volunteer. I have degrees in education from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, as well as from UW-Madison. I'm a former teacher, principal, and central office administrator, having served in 4 Wisconsin school districts, and I've also been a member of the UW-Oshkosh academic staff. My qualifications include 12 years of service on the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education. People tell me that I bring experience, wisdom, and a voice of reason to the board. During my service on the board, I've also served on a variety of other boards. where I've either been a member or I've been the president or the chair of those boards. And my leadership has been recognized by UW-Oshkosh, the Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce, and most recently, the Oshkosh Civility Project. During my board tenure, I have promoted the district move in the direction of the science of reading and improved math instruction and curriculum to upgrade our student performances in those areas. I've advanced the adoption of a long-range facilities plan for the district. I've supported upgrades to our athletic fields for soccer and for football, as well as for track. And I've supported paying down our debt in order to save money for the taxpayers of Oshkosh. Why am I running? Basically, I'm running for students. I believe that all students need to be successful, no matter what their background. My goals for the coming three-year term would include accountability in literacy and math achievement, expanding the quality of our career and technical education opportunities for all kids, serving as an advocate for improved facilities for learning and for efficiencies, and promoting integrity, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. And for future, will you just pull the mic a little closer to your mouth, please? Thank you. How about we go with Mallory?
Sure. Good evening, and thank you to everyone for attending or watching from home tonight, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for putting this forum together. My name is Mallory Schneider-Birschbach. I've resided in the city of Oshkosh most of my life. I graduated from Oshkosh West, attended Fox Valley Technical College, and eventually earned my Bachelor of Science degree from UWO, majoring in environmental studies. I have a diverse work experience in healthcare, banking, and insurance. My overall work experience is rich in customer service, so I am used to listening to people's concerns and finding ways to help them. But my biggest passion will always be advocacy, especially pertaining to public education, special education, and anything to support and uplift others in the community. I've been married to my husband Ryan for almost 9 years, and we're proud parents to our son Nolan, who is a first grader at Shapiro STEM Academy. I'm currently a stay-at-home parent. I'm also president of Shapiro Whirlwinds PTO, the parent-teacher organization associated with my son's school, and I've held that role for several years. So why should the voters choose me? I've attended almost every school board meeting for the last several years. I've spoken during public forum during some of these meetings, and I am aware of local, state, and federal issues relating to public education. I'm already immersed within the district. I also have no ties to partisan groups or political parties, which I take very seriously since this is a nonpartisan election. This means I will make the decisions best for the community, not for partisan players. I am focused on the things that actually matter, educating our students, supporting our staff, and making our community better. I also promise to not rubber stamp resolutions while on the board, and I will take the time to listen to feedback and learn more about resolutions so I can make informed decisions. I am already committed to this work and hope to earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. Let's go on to you, Paul.
Okay. Well, thank you all for attending and watching, and thank you for moderators and League of Women Voters for putting this together so we can let everybody, all the voters know what our views are and what our positions are. As you said, my name is Paul Molitor, and I'm proud to be a candidate for the Oshkosh School Board. I'm committed to upholding the values that strengthen this community and ensure a bright future for the students here in Oshkosh. I believe in fostering an education environment that respects traditional values, it promotes academic excellence, and encourages personal involvement in our schools. My background is probably as diverse as the student population here in Oshkosh. I started working blue-collar work at Miller Electric in Appleton a long time ago. Then I decided I'd finish my college education, got a BS in education, at one time was certified to teach high school chemistry and math. As much as people said there were going to be a lot of jobs in that area, there weren't. So I went to grad school, got a PhD in chemistry, if that matters to anybody. After that, I worked as a spectroscopist for about 12 years, as my kids used to like to say, "What does your dad do?" And they'd say, "He's a nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopist." And they were all impressed. Anyway, as a conservative, dedicated Christian, I take to heart the teachings in the Bible, not only of kindness and compassion, morality and service to others. I see this as a chance to serve others. I retired not that long ago, September actually, and I'd like to have your support and see if we can improve things here in Oshkosh and make this a school district that's a destination, not a place that too many people are leaving.
Thank you, Paul. Jeff?
So my name is Jeff Watts. I'm not originally from Wisconsin. Born in New York, oldest of 17 children. My dad's a busy guy. I am also from a strong Christian foundation in my family and my life. I want to bring to the table a little bit of a uniqueness. I don't have the background that any of these folks do. I'm currently working on finishing my associates in web and software development this spring, and I'm hoping to move into a bachelor's degree potentially in leadership management at UWO, and we will soon be alumni. My big thing here is not my past or my experiences. I want to learn. I'm a parent in this district with two children currently in it. My son goes to Jefferson Elementary, and my daughter I chose to put in private school because of my experiences with Oshkosh's, the district of Oshkosh. I want to be transparent. I want to get more parents involved. I often wonder why Mallory and I are often the only parents that repetitively show up to board meetings. I want to engage the community. I think there are untapped resources in this community that could help with the literacy and math issues that we currently face. I think we have a beautiful community that wants to see everybody succeed, but I don't think there's a lot of community engagement. I don't think there's a lot of faith in the board, and I'd like to bring a different flavor, if you will, to the situation. I'm very forward. I'm very abrupt. I know many of you saw me first in September. As you can see, as a civilian, as a citizen, you are non-elected official, you can do whatever. I can promise you, though, I will be a little less candid, a little more respectful, and I will fight for what you want and what you need. You just have to reach out to me, talk to me. I will bring all of your issues up. I don't care what they are, if they're your issue. And the first thing I'm going to do on the first day I have there is I'm going to bring up a vote or a motion to freeze property tax immediately. I think there's too much of an issue currently with those who are disabled and or those.
Jeff, your time's up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Jacob?
Hi, good evening. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for having us here tonight. My name is Jacob Wolf, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a husband, a father of 3, 2 kids, currently in the OASD, and 1 starting next year, and a proud member of the Oshkosh community. I've spent years on the sidelines coaching for the YMCA, the Oshkosh Rec Department, and the Oshkosh Fast Softball Club. My day job is out in the field doing directional drilling. In my line of work, things rarely go exactly to plan. You have to think on your feet, solve problems in real time, and work until the job is done right. I'm running for the school board because I want to bring that same blue-collar work ethic to our district. I believe a school board should function like a high-performing crew. We need clear communication, accountability for every dollar spent, and a focus on the foundations. To me, that means prioritizing students' math and literacy, supporting our teachers so they can focus on instruction, and ensuring a safe learning environment for all staff and students. I don't claim to have the immediate answers for every complex challenge, but I do promise this. I will listen to the community, I will study the issues from the ground up, and I will make decisions to put students and teachers first. I'm used to thinking outside the box to get projects across the finish line, and I believe that practical common sense perspective is exactly what our board needs right now. And I'd be honored to earn your vote and get to work for our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to ask public policy questions that were either submitted to us in advance or by the public tonight at the forum. Again, a reminder, if you wish to ask a question, just raise your hand and somebody will bring you a card and we'll get it up here. Candidates, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question. And we will begin with Mallory, and Karen will have the first question.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mallory, we always start with a softball question.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. The Oshkosh School Board recently adopted severe cuts to the 26-27 school budget to avoid a $5 million deficit. Evidently, the administration will have more specific staffing cuts on an April meeting agenda. The board's top priority will clearly be to minimize negative effects on student programs. What is your reaction to cuts that have been proposed?
It's not something I like to see happening. It's a really tough situation to be in as a community, as a district, and as a board. Personally, I think we're going to have to just need to really focus on the things that really matter, which is math and literacy. Trying to put as many resources as possible towards those if we want to get our student outcomes to be better. I do always strongly suggest to people that this is a community problem that we all have to own. Unfortunately, a lot of what we do is governed by state funding, and I always tell people we need to reach out to our state legislators to advise them that we need more funds for our students in order to achieve the things that we are meant to achieve, which is bringing our students up to speed with math and literacy, and our students are more than just numbers. We need to look at students as individuals who have unique needs that need to be met, and we need to make sure we have the funding to support those needs. So I'm hoping that it's something that can bring the community together, that we can take responsibility for this.
Thank you, Mallory. Barb?
I found the budget cuts to be gut-wrenching, because I felt that all of those programs were important. At the same time, I knew we had to have a balanced budget, and we need to right-size our district from the standpoint that about 10 years ago, we had 1,000 students more than we do today. Some of that is due to COVID, with people moving out. It's also due to a declining birth rate statewide and predictions that the Oshkosh community, along with many other communities in the state, would see a decline in students. We need to emphasize math and literacy. We need to look at minimizing the impact of these cuts on our students and figuring out ways that we can do things better and more efficiently, as well as what things we can cut out and what things we need to preserve. But we need to provide a quality education for all kids to be successful. And so for me, that's the bottom line.
Thank you, Barb. Paul?
Well, the way things went down with the budget this year and the administration's first proposal and second proposal, it looked like it was mainly a problem with the administration not being transparent, not doing their job in getting the budget right. The enrollment has been declining for quite a few years, and it seems to me that, well, on the board should have oversight over this, but the administration should be getting things the right size, and they should have been anticipating this as enrollment keeps decreasing. This $6 million was $6 million over the last annual budget. So it's, it's something that should have been anticipated ahead of time.
Thank you, Paul. Jeffrey?
Can you say that one more time? State the whole question. I just want to make sure I heard a certain part of it.
The Oshkosh School Board recently adopted severe cuts to the 26-27 school budget to avoid a $5 million deficit. Evidently, the administration will have more specific staffing cuts on an April meeting agenda. The board's top priority will clearly be to minimize negative effects on student programs. What is your reaction to cuts that have been proposed?
So The board should be putting, first of all, the cuts are, I think Barb said, they're gut-wrenching. And at the last board meeting, you heard Barb even make an attempt to save opportunity for the media specialists. I believe you call them librarians, and people who go in and teach, we called them librarians and media specialists where I'm from, but the opportunity to give them some time to restructure and figure things out before it kind of came down on them. I think the loss of the diversity, equity, and the DEI position as well, from being an administrative to just stuck in a school where it doesn't have the same outreach, is kind of tragic as well. There needs to just be some more oversight. The transparency just doesn't exist. I'm not sure if people don't respond to emails or if we just need to get more community engagement. It just doesn't exist right now. And I think that would be the first step. We need to look at programs that parents and kids enjoy and find the programs that aren't doing it, you know what I mean? And we need to trim the fat, in a sense. If we have that large of a deficit, I think there was room to save some literacy. Oh,
Thank you, Jeff.
sorry.
And Jacob.
Well, I follow the sentiment that it was tough to watch and tough to go through. I'm a son of a teacher who's retired now, but I understand, our classroom is what comes first. Our teachers are the most important thing. They're face-to-face with our kids every day. I think we could have seen a lot of these things coming, and I think we needed to be more proactive rather than reactive. There's been decline in enrollment that's been projected since 2015. That was at one of the board meetings. So we knew it was coming, and we just need to prepare in advance instead of waiting till the last minute for these type of situations. And I also think it comes from the top down. We need to do a deep dive and audit of our administrative duties and positions and see if we can save some money there instead of going right to the teachers, because the teachers are the most important part.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay, this one will be for you first, Barb.
Okay.
Addressing the achievement gap for economically disadvantaged students and students of color is a high priority for the Oshkosh School District. Is enough being done?
In one word, no.
Thank you. No. Elaborate.
With Act 20, there is a requirement that students who are in the lower 25% of those who take those tests are required to have a personal reading plan. And that personal reading plan has specific components that are outlined in the law so that each student can get back to grade level. So regardless of what group or marginalized group or subgroup they belong to, they all need that plan. We also need to reach out to the parents and find out where is the disconnect in terms of what's happening with their children in the schools in terms of performance, and what can we do together at engaging the parents in the education of their children. It's a bigger issue than the school district can handle alone, and the new Read More program that's been initiated by Dr. Sam Coleman and others in the community will help address that, but we need to do much more to close that achievement gap. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems the district has, is the number of students who aren't at grade level. Now, you do mention, economically disadvantaged and minorities, but I don't know why we should point out those groups. I mean, it's a problem district-wide, and it goes, past schools. It starts at home. It's a big problem, and Barb, she's been on the board, she knows what's being done. It's strange that as long as they've been working on it, and that's been for years, the numbers aren't getting much better. So we got to keep working on it, and, reaching out to parents and things like that. Maybe even, tutoring. The personal programs to work with individual students is important.
Okay, thank you. Jeff?
Absolutely not. I think there's a severe difference in those who are playing who are absent from school, that are of disadvantaged status or of minority descent, and who are not receiving the same opportunities per se, not because the district doesn't want to give them, but because they just don't have the resources, and or there's just such a language barrier, not just between the district and the kids, but the district and the parents. There needs to really be, I think as has already been stated, a real involvement of parents. Parents are partners, and when you have parents in the district partnering, kids prosper, kids succeed. It's just how it has to be, and it's important to mention it because it's a fact, not because of whatever. The numbers are just so exponential that you can't ignore the fact that it's a thing.
Thank you. Jacob?
Hi, so, I mean, when we look at equity, it's giving everyone what they need to succeed. And there are a lot of things that the Oshkosh Area School District offers that I don't know if they're utilized to their full potential. We need community engagement. We need to get the word out to these families and make sure that they know of the resources available and help them in any way possible. And, you know, it's something that we've been working on for years, and we're going to continue to work on, and hopefully we can help out people from every background in the district and help them have a successful education.
Thank you. Mallory?
Thank you. So I'm going to say yes and no on this, and I'm speaking from a parent of a disabled child who actually was put onto a reading plan in kindergarten and has actually seen a ton of growth in the last year and had tested high enough to get off of that reading plan this year. So I can say for somebody who is developmentally disabled, I'm seeing some really promising gains in his reading and even in his math as well. And so I'm hoping with the new curriculum that have been instilled for both math and reading, that will help address the issues that we have been seeing. I also say no because it's a continuous process. And again, when it comes to, I'm gonna be beating the dead horse here, when it comes to things like state funding, when we don't fully fund education the way it's supposed to be funded, it doesn't just affect the students who are disadvantaged like my son, but it affects all students because we have to make up the difference for when special education is not fully funded by pulling from our general funds. So just something to keep in mind for people. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen?
Okay, Paul, we're going to start with you on this one. Are school vouchers good or bad for public schools and for Oshkosh schools specifically? And I'm going to give this a two-parter. And do you advocate for private school voucher money taken from the taxpayers listed on the property tax bills? So that the tax bill would list both the Oshkosh Area School District as well as what goes to the private schools?
As far as funding the voucher system, I think it's a state program. I think the state should be funding that totally from the state funds. The local district shouldn't be involved at all in the funding as far as that goes. The thing I see best thing about voucher system is it moves public schools into more of a realm of, what works for capitalism. Parents have a choice. They don't have to send their schools to public schools if they see what's happening in the public schools is not what they agree with, or if their students' needs aren't being met in the public schools, they do have a choice. And for them, it's great. For the public schools, it should force them to improve, make their schools a place that are destinations where students feel safe, where students succeed, and where students excel.
Thank you, Paul. Jeffrey?
Hi. So I'm 100% in support of the voucher program. My daughter is in Lourdes 4K, and I could not afford that. I'm a single parent of 3 kids now. And so I think it's great that parents have options. I don't think it's capitalism. I think it holds a district accountable. We should be appealing. People should want to walk through the hallways of the Oshkosh district, no matter what school it is or what one of the schools it is. We we owe our I don't know so much if I think taxpayers, I'm torn on that, but we owe them the opportunity to choose, and we need to be held to a standard. And when they start a mass exodus of students, that's our standard, being told, hey, you need to step up your game, and that's what's been going on. So I'm pro for it. We need options.
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. Jacob?
So I share some of the sentiments that Paul said, where it should be a state-funded issue. But I am completely for vouchers. Competition breeds excellence, and right now, I know plenty of families that I've spoken to that are leaving the district, not, for so many different reasons, and the district is always focusing on external factors like vouchers and birth rates and not focusing on internal factors and why are people leaving. So we need to focus on that. We need to make Oshkosh a destination that people want to come to, and then we won't even have to worry about this situation.
Thank you, Jacob. Mallory?
So, I'm not fully against the voucher program, but I see a problem with it in terms of accountability and transparency. I want parents and families to be able to decide where they want to send their children to be educated, but the way that the system is currently set up, I don't know that these voucher schools are teaching better or that their students are getting better outcomes. I don't know how they're using our taxpayer money. We need to be able to, as taxpayers, have that information, but they're not held to the same standards as our public schools. So I take a problem with that. I would be maybe a little bit more okay with the system if we had more information and they're held to the same standards that our schools are held to. And as far as the tax bill, yes, it should be on the tax bill.
Thank you, Mallory. Barb?
I've always said that I believe parents should have a choice as to where they want to send their children, or if they want to homeschool them. At the same time, I believe in accountability and transparency. Over the last 5 years, the private schools in Oshkosh, who are part of the voucher program, have received $33 million in tax money that taxpayers have provided them with. There's no accountability in terms of how they're using that money. There's no oversight of the money. There are different standards that they are held to as compared to public schools, in that their teachers don't have to follow the same certification, they don't have to follow the same school calendar, they don't have to follow the same curriculum as the public schools. It's two different systems. My concern is with the lack of accountability in terms of how those tax dollars are used. Kids can be opted out of the state test, so we don't really know how well those kids are doing. I would like to see the money on the tax bills, because I think that will provide greater openness and transparency to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
Okay, this question goes to you first, Jeff. Public office requires trust and accountability. Are there experiences from your past, including legal or court-related matters, that you believe voters should be aware of as they evaluate your candidacy?
Can you ask that one more time? Sorry, I apologize.
Public office requires trust and accountability. Are there experiences from your past, including legal or court-related matters, that you believe voters should be aware of as they evaluate your candidacy?
Sure. So I'm incredibly transparent. First of all, obviously, you just have to Google my name. You find out that I have had moments where I have people say I haven't made the best decisions. You'll find my a lot of things on there. CCAP has a public thing where I've a couple disorderly conducts and a family court case that has taught me what a grind it is to be a single father. And if you dig deep enough into that, you will find out that my blood, sweat, and tears went into my children, and that kids mean more to me than almost anything in the world. So I know how it is to be a parent, to be unheard, to have to fight, to have to scratch, to have to scrape. I'm not a cookie cutter person in here. So whatever you see about me, whatever questions you have, just message me. Let's get a coffee. Let's have a conversation. Other than that, this isn't about anything but trust. So I think that's a big part of his transparency. I don't know what else to say, other than my phone number is listed publicly. Hit me up. I will
Okay.
talk about anything, including my past.
Thank you, Jeff. Jacob?
I do not have anything to hide. I ran last year on full transparency and accountability, and I am all for that. And there's nothing that I have to share with you guys.
You know we're going to Google that.
Go ahead. Jacob Wolf.
Mallory?
Well, I'm guessing after this meeting tonight, people are going to go home and look up CCAP, and there's going to be a lot of hits on that website.
Yep.
If you do, I just always warn people and caution them, if you do look up people on that website, that there might be people with similar names, and you will not find me on there. There are other Mallory Schneiders, though, so I can't speak to their past, but as far as me, Mallory Schneider or Mallory Schneider-Birschbach, you will not find me on there. And no, I don't have any other court issues or other sort of things that are hiding in my closet, I don't think. Google can be a useful tool, but it can also be dangerous, so I just always say take caution in what you find. But if there is something that you find that you question, definitely you can visit my website. My phone number's on there. You can reach out to me and we can talk. Thank you.
We'll let you know. Barb?
Openness, honesty, and integrity have always been very important to me. I tend to define myself by my character and my actions. If you Google CCAP, you will find my name. On CCAP, it's for handling the estates of my brother and my mother, and so that's all you will find there. And you're welcome to reach out in any way. I have a landline that provides endless opportunity for voicemail. And I can promise you that my dog, Hank, always maintains perfect confidentiality, so you can leave the longest message you choose, and you can count on me calling you back. So reach out to me. I also have a Facebook page, Barb Herzog, Oshkosh School Board, and I would love to interact with you if you have any questions about my character or about my actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Paul?
I feel I've led a pretty blessed life. I haven't been put in situations where I've been tempted beyond where anything would go wrong. Now, if you do, Google my name, you might find a more famous person with the same name, who from what I understand, has been in a few trouble things along the line, but I have not, so.
You're not a ball player?
A what? Lifetime average 306.
I'm going to use that Schneider line from now on. It is not me. Okay, I think we're starting with Jacob, right? Let's see here. Let's go with, since there's just the launch of the Women's Fund lookup and social media campaign, let's go with this one. Would you support a ban on cell phones in our schools for the entire school day to allow our kids 7 hours of distraction-free learning and social interaction?
I didn't prepare for that one. I think, yes, I would support that. We see how much with cyberbullying and so many other issues that are affecting our children through social media and with these devices. We see on average parents use phones for 6 hours a day. That's too much. That's not helping our students learn. It's distracting. And there are other alternatives. Sometimes it's important for a parent to be able to be in contact with their kids at all times. They make watches. I don't know if that would be part of this decision, that can make phone calls and texts, and that's pretty much it. So I think putting the cell phones away and letting our kids actually learn and focus on that would be awesome.
Thank you, Jacob. Mallory?
So this one's a tough one for me because I do understand that there are reasons that parents and families might want to be in contact with their children at times, especially in some of the uncertainty that we're seeing in cities across our nation. I can understand that being a safety thing, maybe it's for health-related issues. I would say in general, yes, I'm definitely for putting the screens away. I feel like there's a way of doing it without maybe doing a total ban on it. Whether it's some sort of compartment that you put at the front of the classroom by the teacher's desk and everyone puts their phones away and we only take them out when we need them for maybe if we are doing a project or something where we need to use it as a tool for a specific situation. Otherwise, I'm definitely for limiting screen use. That's something I'm trying to do for myself as an example to my son. And I think if we're going to do something like that, really the adults need to be the example as well.
Thank you, Mallory. Barb?
I volunteer in one of our middle schools up to 3 times a week, and there is no use of cell phones by those students, and I don't see them trying to sneak a peek at their phones. They're very good about following the rules. I've been in a high school classroom where they come into the classroom and they put their phones into little slots, and so the phones are available, but they're not used during the class period. And I think those are some effective ways that we can limit that. We also know that extended use of devices limits the social and emotional contact that students have with one another. And I've been in restaurants and other places where you have 4 people at a table and they're all on their cell phones. I don't know if they're with the people across the table or who they're with, but to me, that's problematic. And I agree with Mallory. I think it has to start with the teachers. I don't see the staff using their phones either in this particular building, and I think that's healthy. And the kids do interact at lunchtime. I see that as I'm walking through the hallways and through the lunchrooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Paul?
Absolutely. You know, I'm not the only one on the panel here who grew up in a time where it wasn't an issue. And if parents had to reach their kids, they could. They called the school office, and the school office got in touch with the kids. So, you know, the contact issue is, it's not really, it's a non-starter. There's still ways to reach a child who's at school by a parent. So, yeah, absolutely, screen time's a big issue, not only for kids, but adults, yeah. And I think, absolutely, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, Paul. Jeffrey?
I think screen time is clearly an issue. Now, how we deal with it comes with different factors. I think you have to consider things. I think banning them completely adds an issue. I think if you look at past situations where mass shootings have taken place, since nobody wants to say the word, there have been situations where people or children with their cell phones have been the ones to call for help, have been the ones. So unless you're going to give the children access to a phone in the room that they can call out with, then no, I don't support a complete ban. We have to think about emergency issues. We have to think about maybe a strike system. If the kid, you know, you can't get everybody gone with their phones just because of one-off. There's no proof that this is happening. You just heard Barb, who volunteers in the schools. I'm going to go volunteering in the schools. I'll tell you if it's an issue when I start doing it this week too. It's ridiculous. We need to be able to have access. The times have changed. People are killing children. It is not a joke. So no, absolutely not. Control but not ban.
Thank you.
Okay, back to me for a new question. And this will go to you first, Mallory. What are your views on gender inclusivity in schools and school activities, and what policies do you plan to implement in pursuit of those views?
Can you repeat it, because I didn't hear the first part?
Yeah, because I didn't say it very well. I'll try again. What are your views on gender inclusivity in schools? Did I say that word right, inclusivity? In being inclusive. In schools and school activities, and what policies do you plan to implement in pursuit of those views?
In the beginning, did you say gender, or did you just say?
I said gender.
Okay.
What are your views on gender inclusivity? Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I heard that right. I wasn't 100% sure. So in terms of, I don't know if we're talking about sports, if we're talking about, in terms of being a public institution, we should be accepting of all people. In terms of the sporting issue, I think that's more of a WIAA issue, and whatever guidelines they have laid out, that is for them to deal with in terms of who gets to play in what sports. I'm not super familiar with that, I'll be honest, but I think that's not necessarily a board-specific issue. In terms of just general inclusivity in school activities, again, I don't really see it as being an issue in terms of gender. Everybody should be able to participate in the school system, no matter who they are, what their background is, what their religion is, immigration status, refugee status. Everyone is to be in a public school, is to be instructed by public schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Barb?
I basically agree with what Mallory has said. We need to be accepting of all people. We don't know basically the circumstances where students live. I initiated contact last spring in one of our high schools with the LGBTQ group as well as the Black Student Union, because I wanted to hear directly from the students what they experienced and what they would like to see changed in their schools to make their schools be more inclusive and have them feel more of a sense of belonging. And it was very eye-opening to listen to the students directly. So I think more contact with them is important. I belong to a religion who is headed by a pope on a national level, international level, and when he says, "Who am I to judge?" I agree with him. I am not there to judge. I'm there to accept and educate all children and staff members. And so I have friends who belong to the LGBTQ community. I make it a point of attending the Pride Fest in Oshkosh because I represent all the people and all the children of the city. So I'm okay. We do have policies dealing with harassment and other issues. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Paul?
By gender inclusivity, I presume you're talking about transgender people mostly. And as has been said before, yes, we have to be accepting of all people. However, there are other places where we can't just accept what people say they are opposed to who they really are. Men are men, women are women, and women's sports has to be for women, not for men who decide they are women or want to be women, even if they've had procedures done. Other issues are pronouns. Attributed to Abraham Lincoln, he asked the question, if you consider a dog's tail a leg, how many legs does a dog have? And the answer, of course, is 4. Whether you think that tail is a leg or not, it's not a leg, it's a tail. So, yeah, sports need to be for women, and pronouns, it's tough.
Okay, thank you. Jeff?
First of all, I think it should be started off with, before Christ went and died on the cross, he said, "Love your brother as I have loved you." And I truly love everybody. My best friend is gay. He's my daughter's godfather. So she was baptized in a building that is run by the Pope, and her godfather's gay. Coolest guy. Hi, Ron. I love you. That said, I think there has to be a level of protection for women's sports. Biologically, we created it a long time ago and put the barrier between men and women, so sports could be whatever. I've done competitive professional sports. I've seen what men who have had processes or surgeries done and gone and fought women in cages. It's not fair. It's not equity. Fairness doesn't have to be hate. We can still love each other and support each other and be inclusive without having to sacrifice the comforts or the needs of other people.
Okay, thank you. Jacob?
Well, as far as the sports aspect of it, being a coach, like I mentioned, for many, many years, I've coached co-ed leagues for younger students, and there comes a point when there is a drastic difference between the males and females in the sports, and sometimes it can lead to injuries or things such as that. But when we come to schools, every child deserves the right to a great education, right? So I teach my kids, we treat everyone with kindness and respect. You might not agree with them, but you have to be kind to them. I feel that is the best method to go about, and like I said, every child deserves an education.
Okay. Karen, do you have a very brief, like, yes and no question or anything?
Oh,
We could entertain one
Brief.
more question if it's brief, and we give them only
okay.
30 seconds.
I can do this.
Do we
You
get-
can do this.
Do we get Wheel
right?
of Fortune music?
I'll sing for you.
So I believe we're starting with you, Barb.
Okay.
What is the best way to retain excellent teacher and office staff? 30 seconds.
Treat them with respect. Make sure that you are doing your best as far as compensation and fringe benefits and working conditions. Working conditions is a huge factor. Making sure that they have safe and healthy facilities and are not fearful of students who misbehave and inflict injuries.
Thank you, Barb. Paul, 30 seconds.
Safety is the most important thing, but the other thing I've noticed that is, in order to keep employees happy, if you keep an employee around who's not doing their job well and don't get rid of them, that is terrible for the people who are, and they resent it, and they don't stick around.
Thank you. Jeffrey.
I think you have to be transparent. I think you have to listen to your staff, listen to your teachers need to be provided with professional training that makes them feel like they can provide their jobs accurately. They need the resources to do this. They need to feel respected by the board, the district, and the community. There needs to be you go as far as even looking at the lunch staff who are currently being outsourced and feel like they're not being listened to, who I've spoken to recently. It's just sitting down and talking to them, having a real conversation.
Thank you. Jacob.
Well, I'll follow suit with that. We have to listen to our teachers and our educators. It's incredibly important to get their viewpoints, to know why some of them and so many have been leaving. We also just need to focus on, I had a thought, give me a second. Don't put that timer up yet. We also need to stop adding more and more busy work on top of their already busy schedule. And with cuts and stuff like whatever happened with the budget, they're having so many documented busy work that they don't have time for instructional. It's just to focus on their instructional duties.
Thank you, Jacob. And Mallory.
I think everyone brought up some really good points. I'll just add to that I'm big on not micromanaging staff, letting professionals be professionals, and also communication. That's a big thing I've heard from talking with some of the members in the community, some of them being teachers, some of them being district staff, is that they just want to be heard. I want them to come to me and not be fearful about if I'm on the board. Like, I'm not going to out you to anybody. Like, you can come to me, we can have a conversation, and just be there, and don't be afraid. Come to me. I'll listen.
Thank you, Mallory.
Now I'm going to give you each 1 minute to make any additional statement you'd like. If there was something you didn't have time to address or a question we didn't ask that you wanted to answer, well, you got a minute. And Mallory, guess what? I'm going to start with you.
Oh, of course you are. Thanks again to everyone for taking time to make an informed decision at the polls for the primary on February 17th and for the spring election on April 7th. I again want to highlight that I understand the duties of this role and the time, energy, and commitment it entails. I'm committed to nonpartisan governance that focuses on the facts and gathering information to make decisions with students, staff, and the community in mind. I'm confident I can have healthy disagreement with others, but also find commonalities when faced with difficult topics. I can scrutinize material without tearing down the entire system. This means I won't rubber stamp decisions, but I also won't jeopardize the stability of the district and our schools. Our schools are social hubs that not only educate, but support and uplift students and families. My campaign is for every person who believes in the importance of public education, community, and the futures of our children. I'd be honored to have your vote, and if you'd like to reach out to me to learn more, connect, have a cup of coffee, whatever, visit my website at www.malloryforoshkosh.com. Thank you.
Thanks. Barb?
I want to thank the League of Women Voters for providing us with the opportunity to share with those in the audience here and those at home who will be listening tonight or at another time. One of the things that is very important to me is children. I was never blessed with children of my own, but I've always felt that all the children in the district belong to me. And so I love this quote by the late President John F. Kennedy, "Children are the world's most valuable resource and our best hope for the future." I truly believe in that statement, and I believe that every one of us in this community has a stake in how well our children are educated. I have the time, energy, experience, and the heart to serve another term on the school board. I've appreciated the support you've given me in the past, and I hope to have your support in the February 17th primary. And I really would like to serve another term on the board. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve, and I'd like to continue in that role to help move our district forward and support all of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Paul?
Well, one of the things I think that makes me stand out from a lot of the other candidates is my, well, first of all, my age. I've been around, I've seen a lot of things. I've done a lot of different jobs. I've worked blue-collar work where I shower after work. I've worked other jobs where I shower before work. I've taught college. I've done a lot of substitute teaching as well as tutoring, so I know education. But I also know what most of the parents are going through with the working a 40-hour day, a 40-hour week, or 50 or 60, trying to make ends meet and still trying to do what's right for their kids. So my diversity and maturity and experience, I think, is a big plus. Thank you so much for watching us stumble through these answers for this much time, if you're still listening, and thank you for League of Women Voters for putting this forum together.
Thank you. Jeff?
First off, I'm an incredibly eclectic person and very worldly. I come off a little rough around the edges sometimes, but that's because I'm passionate. I care. I haven't been at this as long as Paul, Beth. I don't have the education of Mallory or them. I'm trying to get there. I want to add that I have been that student with an IEP when IEPs were peg legs on Pirates, when they were anchors, when they were not flotation devices like they are today. I know what it is to see a system that can help a student. I know what it is to see a system that fails. I'm not knowledgeable in everything, but I will get elbow deep. I will work with you. I want parents to be partners. I want to do fair stewardship with your money. I want to make sure that people enjoy walking through the halls of Oshkosh. I want to make sure that we up our DPI, that not just our graduation rates, but everything else increases. And that starts with transparency and having a conversation. You know, my number is also on the website. It's wattsforschoolboard.com.
Thank you. Jacob?
All right, so there's one that I have to go back to quickly, the cell phone one. I might have jumped the gun on that a little bit, but I didn't hear complete ban, and I guess I didn't know as much on that topic. So I'd like to hear from the community members on what their beliefs are and how they feel about it before making a decision on that one. Other than that, I'm a dad, a coach, a worker who knows that a job isn't finished until it's done right. So if you want a board member who will listen, show up every day, and put our students' futures above everything else, then I'm asking for your vote. And I just want to say thanks again to you guys for having us all here. It was great fun and a little stressful, but I enjoyed my time. Thanks to all you who came and wanted to listen to all of us.
Thank you. I really want to thank all of you for showing up. I appreciate that, and for running for office. I know that can be stressful, and it's getting harder and harder to want to put yourself out there, so we appreciate it. I want to thank Karen for joining me again tonight. And I want to thank all of you who came and listened, and those of you who will be watching this in the next couple of weeks. This does conclude the forum for Oshkosh Area School Board. On Tuesday, February 17th, you may vote for up to 2 of these candidates. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Everyone must show a photo ID with your picture on it. You may register when you go to vote on Election Day. Take a proof of residence with you. Or better yet, just check myvote.wi.gov and make sure you're signed up. Early and absentee voting allows voters who cannot reach their polling place on Election Day to vote beforehand. Check with your city or town clerk for early voting availability. It does depend on where you live. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Winnebago County, I want to thank everyone for participating in this forum. And remember, Our democracy depends on citizen involvement, and voting has consequences. Please vote on February 17th. Thank you for coming.